Today on the Point Blank Performance YouTube channel, we got the 21 Dodge Cummins strapped to the Mustang Dyno. We're going to go toe-to-toe with an L5P Duramax that has the identical compound setup, the 88 over a 72, right? Well, what you guys just heard was a failed attempt to make that happen. All the comments that keep me up late at night, around 12 a.m. when I'm getting off work, the 68 RFE has went and seen Jesus. It's broke. Well, it's not really broke. We're just having issues with it. This is what happened. So last week, truck taken by the customer, went to a car show with 750 rural horsepower, 1,400 feet-pound of torque along the way to the car show. Just didn't work out too well. But he made it to the car show. We got a trophy in the back to show you. But today's video, we can use it for a purpose, and its purpose is this. Maybe you have a transmission, something with lower horsepower. The transmission, you're a little worried about it. You're trying to figure out, is it broke? Is it gonna break? Is it on its way out? We're gonna look at a few parameters that I watch on my iPhone through an EasyLink device, and I'm gonna share them with you guys, so that way you can take that information and figure out your transmission operating at 100%. So if you got drive, your input shaft is still intact. I'm gonna go through all the gears, that way you can see what's going on. So I got first, I got second, it didn't flare shift. Going into third, I got third, we're good to go. I'm gonna go into fourth. Fourth, it locked up. Now I'm gonna go into fifth. It didn't flare shift, we're now into fifth. Now let's go into sixth. All right, there we go. We just flare shift going into sixth. Okay, now we're idling down. You seen it. When the transmission, when I was forcing it into sixth gear, I was upshifting. You seen those RPMs come up, but they didn't go ahead and shift, because when it shifts, it should drop an RPM, right? Because you go up in gear, it'll drop the RPMs down. This one just sat there and hesitated. There's binding up. That means when I click that upshift, the clutch is on in fifth, but now it says come off, sixth gear, here I come, I'm gonna apply. Guess what? That never happened. They bind it up. When they bind up, then you get a code. Hopefully you got a code on yours if you're that lucky and it's not on the side of the road. This one threw us an incorrect gear ratio in fifth, and then we did it another time, it threw it in sixth. So that means when I'm shifting fifth into sixth, it's not gonna happen. That gear is not accessible. So I know what you're thinking. All right, you just went to fifth gear, everything's fine, I can get home, right? Alright guys, so I want you to pay attention here. I'm at 1,800 RPMs, I'm about 58 mile an hour. When I give it throttle, it should come up just like this. I'm gonna give it a little throttle, and it should be real nice, okay? What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give it more throttle. You're gonna see this RPM wrap, and this mile an hour won't come up very fast. Here we go. All right, did you see that? And the truck didn't go anywhere? Watch one more time. I'm gonna give it some throttle, rev, but didn't go anywhere. We are burnt out on fifth. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the truck back down to fourth gear, because fourth gear operates on a totally different setup than fifth and sixth. Let's see if we can make it home on fourth gear. All right guys, so we're in fourth gear. Down here you can see that fourth. We're at roughly 1,600 RPMs, 40 mile an hour. The converter is locked. That means these RPMs should come up really nice, and the mile an hour will come up as well. So they're just like a sweep. All right, I'm gonna start leaning into it just a little bit, and to figure out if fourth gear is actually gonna hang in there. All right, here we go. Mile an hour, RPMs. I'm gonna start leaning into it, a little bit of throttle. Comes up nice. One more time. You heard the truck, you saw the truck. I can feel the truck put power down, and it's not slipping. Watch it again. Mile an hour, and listen to the truck. we've seen about 30-mile-an-hour jump. So what does that tell me about the transmission? So what do we learn from today's 68 RFE transmission? Keep it simple. 5th and 6th gear, those clutches work on a totally separate network. Overdrive clutches, underdrive clutches, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. That's the reason why I put it in 4th, and I wanted to show you guys that just because you have a burn up 5th and 6th gear, which should happen because the truck makes 750 rural horsepower, 1,450 pound of torque, 35s and 24s, you're gonna break shit. But 4th gear is gonna get you home in this scenario. 4th gear, take a look at the EasyLink data. I wanted to look and see if the torque converter was actually slipping, and it wasn't. The torque converter actually held up. Most of the time, this kind of power, I break the input shaft. I'll be honest. Snap that bitch right in half. Oops. So guys, look at that data. 2772, output shaft 2781, torque converter slip 24. No big deal. That's perfectly fine. So in this case, the transmission is done. If you have one that's doing this similar mod, it's done as well. So guys, this week wasn't a total loss. We did end up with a trophy. Take a look at this baby. Jeremy brought this home to put up the shop in the front room right beside BJ. Well, that is real nice. That right there cost him a transmission. So guys, if you're in this scenario, what are you gonna do? Do you do like we did, like I've done? Do you build the engine? Do you make it badass? Yeah. Or do you do the transmission first, because you got to do them both at some point. Now we're at the some point and we got to build it. That's where we want to hear from you guys. If you have a built 68 RFE, comment below. Be like, yeah man, I took mine to this guy over here. Man, he did all these clutches and bored it out and this thing's badass. Like to hear about it. Guys, this is where you're going to want to like and subscribe, because if I know Jeremy, I know he's going to be back. He's got the 21 Dodge Cummins. We got a compound here. But that L5P's coming up, and it's coming up real soon. Let's see if we can keep up with it. We may never know, but we may know. Make for sure you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you back here next week at Point Blank Performance. Something did not sound good inside that transmission. God.